Coming up on Cptv, the Crown Point Community Foundation hosted their annual volunteer fair this past weekend. In a world of rapidly changing culture, we get the students' perspectives on the use of vulgar language in school. And the dog shooting falls flat against Maryville in the sexual championship game. Hi, I'm Ethan Burdine.
And I'm Reese Groppentine.
Welcome to Cptv. Mitch Boda will have your 5-day weather forecast, and Drew Zimmerman will bring us CP Sports highlights.
Here's what's happening at Crown Point High School.
The deadline for advanced placement exam registration is March 27th. Registration is available through your RDS account. Most teachers have been distributing info about the test registration during classes to help with the process. If you plan to take an exam, register prior to March 27th. The CPHS Key Club is hosting their annual St. Baldrick's event on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th from 3 to 6 p.m. in the cafeteria.
St. Baldrick's is an event that fundraises for childhood cancer research, and people, they come to our event and they get their head shaves, and all while they fundraise for money. There's a DJ there, there'll be food and games. We invited all the elementary schools, so they'll be there, and the kids love just shaving their head and showing support for kids with cancer. There's also going to be honored kids there that have had cancer and have beat cancer, and we're just pretty much doing this event for them and fundraising for them and to prevent childhood cancer in the future.
Anyone can have their head shaved to show support. If you're interested in participating in St. Baldrick's, visit their website at stbaldricks.org and search for CPHS 2017.
Anyone who has seen the movie Grease knows that cursing has been a part of the school culture for decades. However, some are wondering if the educational environment has drastically changed in recent years, creating a culture that is beyond acceptable use. CBTV's Ashley Reed met with students and staff to get a sense of the general opinions regarding the use of vulgar language in school.
One of the school's biggest issues is the use of vulgar language. I went around CPHS to get the school's opinion on this topic.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. Honestly, I cuss all the time, but sometimes it depends on what you're saying. If you're saying the F-bomb in front of teachers, then it's kind of disrespectful, but when you're around your friends, I think it's kind of who you are, and if you want to cuss, then you should have that right.
I hear a lot of cussing in these hallways, especially coming past my door. So it does bother me a little bit. Young people should choose their words wisely. You can be judged on what comes out of your mouth, and you don't want to be judged on what you say, and you want to be judged on, what you do and your character. It's not good character to be yelling, running down the hallways, using cuss words all the time.
My opinion in cussing in school, I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, we're all growing up, we're being mature, we should be able to say what we want, but that's just me, I guess.
Do I think it is respectful? Do I think they should be doing it? No, I do not.
I feel there is sometimes a need to say those foul words, but if you're just like talking to someone, I don't think it's a good idea, because then a teacher will hear you and then bad things happen after that.
I think cussing in schools kind of goes both ways. I believe, a lot of people do it, but it really just depends on where you're at too. Like, I would not do it in front of a teacher or any of a freshman or younger grade. I want to set a good example. But when I'm with my friends, in a place where no one can really hear, then yeah, it does slip, I won't lie. Cussing is part of my vocabulary, but I try to keep it on a minimal.
I think that everyone is guilty of cussing in school every now and again, because that's just what teenagers do. But I think that there's like a fine line that sometimes people cross and it goes too far.
Profanity in the school is a tough one, I think, because students tend to use profanity when they're in certain situations with their peers. If they're out together, they may use profanity and think that it's relatively harmless. But I think in the school, we want students to model college and career readiness standards and ultimately workplace standards, where that type of language is not appropriate in a school. And I think it comes back to the term profanity. It's profane. And offensive to many people. So I think students need to keep in mind that we do have standards in a school where we don't want to offend anybody, and a good thing to keep in mind is, would this type of language be appropriate in the workplace? And if it isn't, then we would want students to model their language after the type of not only language but behavior at work.
At the end of the day, it's important that you remain respectful to your school and community. For Cptv, I'm Ashley Reed.
The deadline for applying for the Crown Point Community Foundation scholarships is quickly approaching. Seniors have the opportunity to apply for over 70 different scholarships through the Crown Point Community Foundation. But the deadline to apply is March 17th. Go to www.thecpcf.org/scholarships to fill out and submit applications.
The temps have been steadily increasing as we head deeper into the month of March, yet meteorologists continue to remind us that there is always a possibility of snow. To tell us if we'll see any snow in the region, here's Mitch Bolda with our 5-day weather forecast.
That's right, Old Man Winter will be making his way back into the region, but before we begin the cool down, we still have a warm day ahead of us. Before we get that long-range forecast, let's take a look at what we can expect for the rest of today. Temps will remain quite steady throughout our day, reaching that high of 53 right around 3 o'clock, and then those temps will begin to drop off into the evening hours. As we take a look into our 5-day forecast, tomorrow we begin to cool down into the low 40s with cloudy skies. Friday skies will clear just a little bit, but temps will be a chilly 30 degrees. Heading into our weekend, Saturday will be in the 20s, and we could see a chance of flurries throughout the day. Sunday skies will clear, and we'll see that high of 36 degrees. When we come back to school on Monday, we could see our first accumulating snow of this year, with temps right in the upper 30s, and that's your 5-day forecast. Enjoy the rest of your week.
This past weekend, the Crown Point Community Foundation hosted their annual volunteer fair and blood drive in the CPHS cafeteria. Many people from Northwest Indiana looking for meaningful volunteer opportunities attended the event to visit with over 90 different nonprofit organizations to find out how they could serve in their communities.
Our 8th annual volunteer fair and blood drive. The Crown Point High School's been wonderful providing this facility for us to be able to hold this event. It makes it great for the community because everybody knows where the high school is, so it's easy access. Also, it gives us an opportunity to work with a lot of the students. They do help volunteer. They help with the nonprofits, helping them bring in their materials, set up the tables, get things kind of ready for the fair and help throughout. So it gives the kids an opportunity to help and see other ways of participating and lending a helping hand within a community.
I first started on the committee for the volunteer fair, and it's a great opportunity to bring all of the nonprofits in our community together with members of the community to find volunteer opportunities. And we have, the last few years, have had a great turnout. I think the awareness is out there that there are several opportunities for families or individuals to find an opportunity to help our nonprofits here in our service area.
So we're Power Paws for Kids. We go to libraries, special needs schools, nursing homes. We go to colleges and high schools during final exam week so that we can provide some comfort before exams. We come every year to this fair. We always are able to make contact with new members for dog teams and some boosters. And it's a wonderful experience. We get to touch out to others that are nonprofit organizations.
The CPHS Theater Department will open their spring musical Kiss Me Kate this Friday at 7 p.m. in the auditorium. The storyline combines Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew with Cole Porter's music and lyrics. This play within a play is a funny, melodious, and sophisticated show that is sure to entertain. Tickets can be purchased in the CPHS box office any day after school and on performance nights.
This is just a reminder that the FAFSA deadline for all seniors attending college for the 2017-2018 school year is this Friday, March 10th. All seniors are highly recommended to apply as this is the only way to receive financial aids from the state of Indiana.
Huge expectations on the shoulders of the boys basketball team as they face Chesterton in the Friday semifinal and then Maryville in the championship game with a chance for sectional three-peat. Here's Drew Zimmerman with all your CP Sports highlights.
This past Friday, the boys basketball team took on Chesterton in the sectional semifinal. Chesterton played much better than they did the first time these two teams met, not allowing the Bulldogs to reach a double-digit lead through 3 quarters. Heading into the fourth, the Bulldogs held a slim 3-point lead, Then Sasha Stefanovic opened the quarter with 9 straight points, eventually ending the quarter with 17. Stefanovic's dominant scoring in the fourth was too much for the Trojans as the Bulldogs knocked them out 78-66. Stefanovic led the team with 29 points, Andrew Keneally added 22 with 14 rebounds, and Ken Decker scored 19 with 3 threes as the Dogs' senior trio scored all but 8 of the team's points. Early in the fourth, Sasha Stefanovic hit a free throw, which may not have seemed like much, but it was Stefanovic's 1,316th point, making him the all-time leading point scorer at Crown Point High School.
You know, all those years of, in the gym and stuff like that, and my teammates giving me the ball in open spaces, it's kind of crazy to get that feat, but, I can't thank my, teammates and coaches enough for, believing me to get there.
After defeating Chesterton, the Bulldogs returned to the Wolves' Den on Saturday night for the sectional championship. Few teams in the state of Indiana have the opportunity that the Crown Point boys basketball team has tonight. 3 straight sectional titles is hard enough, but being the only team in Crown Point history to accomplish such a feat makes it even more special. Rivals Maryville and Crown Point know each other very well, yet this is the first postseason matchup between these two schools since 2003. Only one team will cut down the nets tonight, and it will surely be a great time finding out which school that will be.
In the first half, Crown Point established Keneally down low and drew 10 fouls, which led to 11 points from the free throw line. Right before the half, Vince Smith put back a missed 3 to give the Bulldogs a 7-point lead and a momentum into halftime. However, after the break, Maryville came out fast and outscored the Bulldogs by 14 in the third quarter. Crown Point's inability to hit shots down the stretch and Maryville's strategy to possess the ball allowed the Pirates to secure the win and claim their first sectional title since 2013.
Me, coaching staff, all the players, we went out there and we gave it our all. Some nights the shots just don't fall. Maryville played a great game, especially in the second half. We wish we could have came out with a win more than anything, but just to be out there with my brothers, family, just everybody, all the support we had behind us was unbelievable. For people to travel all these times and draw pictures of us and say we do so much for them just means a whole lot. And I would have done anything in my power to win us this game, or I would have put in extra work to win this game. But this season had to be one of the best times of my life. It was so fun. Every game was just a great time.
They did a great job switching off of screens and extending on us, and they didn't let us get a lot of rhythm looks. It was hard for us to get into space. But that being said, we got some great looks. They just didn't go down. It was just one of those tough shooting nights. We haven't had very many of those in the last few years. But tonight the shots weren't going down, and kids stayed to the plan. They did everything that was asked of them, and Maryville just played better than we did tonight. We've had in these last few senior classes, we've had guys who've cared about Crown Point, and they've put the team and the program above themselves. And it's hard. It stings. It's really difficult. But these seniors are going to move on to great things. They're going to be wildly successful in their lives, and it's just an honor for me to say that I was a part of their lives these last 4 years.
It was a game of 2 halves. The first where the Bulldogs led most, and the second where Maryville's 6-0 run to start the third and their 12-2 run to start the fourth pushed them ahead past the Bulldogs 71-60. Crown Point will say goodbye to their 5 very good seniors and hello to a young group with raw talent next season. For Cptv, I'm Drew Zimmerman. On Saturday, the boys and girls track team traveled to Portage for their first indoor meet of the season. The girls took first place in the 4x400 meter relay and the 4x800 meter relay. Kristen Lacoste took first place, and Alex Wahlberg took second place in the 60-meter hurdles. Lacoste also took first place in the 60-meter dash. For the boys, Shea McCormick took first place in the high jump by jumping 6 feet 4 inches, and Austin Atkins tied for first in pole vault with a jump of 13 feet. On Saturday, 2 CP gymnasts competed in the regional meet at Valparaiso High School. CP's Shannon Harrison scored an 8.15 on beam, giving her 27th at the meet. Paige Heen scored a 8.65 on beam, which is good for 19th. With winter sports coming to an end, spring sports are preparing for their upcoming seasons. The baseball team will start their season March 28th at Hanover Central High School. The softball team will open up against Hobart on March 27th. And the lacrosse team will open up their season this Saturday at Mishawaka Marion. And that's it for sports.
CPHS will host a parent education night for parents of 11th grade students on navigating the college admissions process next Tuesday, March 14th at 6 p.m. in the LGI. The meeting includes crucial information about the admissions process to get into college or university. Indiana University Northwest and Valparaiso University representatives will be on site to answer questions.
That'll do it for today's show.
Remember, you could view all of our past episodes on cptvmedia.com.
You can also follow us on Twitter at CPTV Media.
For Mitch Bolda, Drew Zimmerman, and all of us here at CPTV, I'm Reese Robinson.
And I'm Ethan Burdine.
We'll see you next time.